Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Yuri, and I'm totally honored and what a privilege it is to be able to share with you and to have your attention and your interest in this topic. It's especially dear to me. I'm very, very passionate about law, even though I don't teach much about it. I spent a good part of my life recently studying law, and I'm just like very, very excited to share with you this organized presentation that I've prepared for a topic that's very dear to me, which is sales tax. And yeah, I apologize for the messy background. I got some stuff. I was cleaning out my garage. You should see the garage. The garage is super organized now. But anyway, moving on. I'm going to try and make this as efficient as possible. Here is our intro: how to pay sales tax for free as a business using the law. Okay, my name is Yuri Couto. There's my email. I'm going to post this video on Rumble. I'm going to post this video on YouTube. Totally free, because I believe that we should have freedom in this country, and freedom of commerce, freedom of economy, in order to bring prices down by not having sales tax, and or basically paying sales tax for free, in order to benefit humanity. Because we'll get into why. Okay, so I'll try not to ramble too much, but like I said, I'm very passionate, and you'll have to bear with me. This is my presentation style. So a little bit about credibility. I'm not a licensed lawyer. I never went to law school, like traditional law school. I don't have a bar card, none of that shit. Okay, what I do have is an active case, where I'm defending myself, self-represented. I'm not using a lawyer. I am the lawyer. American Express sued me. Okay, I'm a defendant here against American Express. If you are interested in looking at what I'm doing here with this case, I have the Dropbox link. Links will be in the description as well. You can look and see the documents for yourself and read, however much interest and time that you have. Link will be in description. Here's the case number. It's currently in progress, so I don't have the result, but I'm very, very excited for this case and to see how it plays out. I put my heart and soul into this case, and I hope you can appreciate that. So yeah, I'm a self-studied lawyer, is what I call myself in regards to this content. You can see me as like a street lawyer, some guy that just studied on his own, okay, and learned this shit, and I'm actually doing it like in my active case, standing on my square, as they say, in the shit that I believe in, because I believe in the law. I've read UCC 3 cover to cover. I've read Bill of Exchange Act cover to cover. Federal Reserve Act Section 16, also very relevant. I haven't read the whole Federal Reserve Act, just this pertinent part. By trade, like, I'm an electrical engineer. I graduated. Okay, I'm not like just some crazy dude. I am kind of crazy, but I do have a mind to make assessments, and that's what I want to share with you. And you can take all this information. This is for like people who are have their own reasoning ability. Okay, this is for people who want to think for themselves and who feel that there's something a little bit fucked about the traditional system that we grew up in, and that is currently at play with the fiat monetary system, the government system, the laws, everything. So there's like something that's kind of fucked, right? Yeah. So that's why we're here, because we chose to live in America, which is like a free country. And much abundance and prosperity comes from freedom. So moving on, disclaimer, presentation style. Like I said, I'm very passionate. I may use curse words. I may ramble a little bit. I may just present with a weird kind of energy that like you think is weird, or you may think I'm crazy, which technically I am. What I would like you to do is to just take the presenter, the messenger, out of the situation as much as possible, and just look at the information that I'm presenting and make your own assessments about the information, and then ultimately do what you will. This presentation I'm basically giving for free. In my opinion, I could make seminars if I wanted to, like with this presentation, and like charge $1,000 a pop for business owners to come in. I might do that, honestly. But I think this information is so valuable that it should be like widespread for free, so nobody has to be extorted out of sales tax payments, okay? Because there's nothing more infuriating than being a slave, being extorted out of your lifeblood energy, right? Like earning income through valuable service and goods, and having to extort, um, make payments out of extortion to an alleged government. So I believe in freedom. Yeah, this is legal advice. Okay, fuck yes, this is legal advice. I'm telling you, I'm gonna show you some key pertinent facts about the law, and I'm gonna give you advice. I'm gonna tell you what to do. It's up to you if you want to do it or not. Um, and I'm actually like a non-citizen national. I'm not even. I'm like a private person, so do what you will. Like, um, but yeah, this is legal advice. I'm not like responsible for you though. You have your own responsibility to make your own decisions. And I hope you open your mind and make use of this information because I am, and it's incredibly powerful information in my opinion. If you're willing to have some balls and some courage to stand up to bullies, basically, and people that are deeply programmed who believe in taxation as, it's like the natural way of being to pay tax. Okay, so tax court. This process may and likely will ultimately involve attending some kind of tax court proceedings. Okay, if you do get audited, which is, in my opinion, is actually very unlikely to get audited to begin with, but it depends on the state. I don't know. Like tax court, like expect it. If you want to proceed with this, you can already prepare to simply defend yourself in tax court. It doesn't have to be expensive. You can just represent your own self, your own business. It doesn't have to be complicated. It's actually quite easy if you just like follow the law. Okay, so sit back, relax, and just take in the information. Okay, rewatch. I recommend rewatching this video many times. Okay, and then like even reading the law yourself, you can like look it up. But you won't have to because I brought it all for you here. Believe and win. Like you have to believe in this in the words. You have to read the law, believe in what it says, because that's what we're doing. We're taking a plain view at the law and using the law to pay the sales tax. Okay, so it's like don't just believe what everybody the mass of society is programmed to believe that sales tax you have to pay with Federal Reserve notes and we all have to because we're in doing business in the United States. It's like guys, there's a better way, okay? And win. You can win, guys. You can fucking believe in the law, defend your case, if you even get audited, right? Because I'm telling you, if you do what I'm saying, they might just like the Department of Revenue in your state might just lips shut, and accept your payment without even telling you anything, okay? Because that's happened to me before, with the bank, not with the state. Don't be a pussy, guys. Don't be a fucking pussy. Okay, this is sales tax, literally 7.5% in Florida. God forbid, in another state, it'll be like even higher. I don't even know. I should have looked it up. New York, California. I wonder what the sales tax is there for things that we need, like cars. I know food isn't taxed in like grocery food in Florida, but so many necessities do tax. Are you shitting me? On basic necessities, economic goods that we need for our lives, the government is putting a mandatory extortion on that, and a huge one, 7.5%. Dude, I had a mechanic bill today for my car that blew up. The engine blew out for like a $2,000 repair, and the total tax is $160. Anyway, for a car repair, that like you need vehicle transportation. Moving on. Not gonna try and ramble too much. Okay. Motivation, guys. What is sales tax? Sales tax is extortion. Sales tax is a is a program. It's like something that you've been trained and indoctrinated into thinking you have to pay. Okay. It's a bully system. It's a matrix. We all know what it is. Okay. Unless you're like one of the people that are so deeply programmed, or maybe you just have your own beliefs. I respect that. Where you believe in tax, like everybody pay their fair share. That's fine. But what's not okay is the mandatory like extortion on goods that we need for our lives. Okay, so it should be an optional thing. Hey, would you like to donate for the government program? Yes or no? But instead, we have businesses that won't sell to you unless you pay the tax, right? So this is why we had this presentation for businesses to realize, hey, we don't need to extort our customers out of sales tax anymore to sell them a car, which I'm in the market for a car, which is how I ended up getting into this, making this presentation once and for all, because all the dealers, obviously they want to charge you tax on a many $1,000 car that I need, right? So what is United States like? United States, what is America? Well, United States is a corporation. Actually, we're going to get into that. um what is America? America is like what we stand for. It's like freedom. uh there didn't used to be tax in this country. Like, there didn't used to be income tax. I'm pretty sure there didn't used to be sales tax. So these are fundamental principles of economic prosperity. It happens best when the government is not interfering with it. Okay, let's see. We have Adam Smith, who's like the father of, considered the father of economics. One of the founding fathers of economics. Okay, he wrote this legendary book called Wealth of Nations. You may have heard of it. Here's a quote: "The natural effort of every individual to better his own condition, when suffered to exert itself with freedom and security, is so powerful a principle that it is alone, and without any assistance, not only capable of carrying on the society to wealth and prosperity, which is what we all want, but surmounting 100 impertinent obstructions with which the folly of human laws too often encumbers its operations." Okay, that's from book 4, chapter 5. He's basically saying, guys, government just gets in the fucking way of prosperity and economic freedom. Okay, we don't need tax to do anything, and we don't need it for roads either. So don't even start with the roads. Okay, we had roads long before we had taxation in this country. Okay, let's move on. Motivation. We're gonna have some motivational pictures here of Smith and Neo. Okay, just enjoy here. That's Neo. Okay, we got all those Agent Smiths. Guess who's the Agent Smith? Department of Revenue. Okay, but see, so here's the Department of Revenue trying to program everybody's mind into living in the system of like taxation and fiat money. Okay, so we're moving beyond that. Now we're gonna do this. Okay, so enjoy this, because we're so deeply programmed and indoctrinated that we have to like pay sales tax a certain way, that we're scared to stand up and use the law and enjoy our freedom. So we're gonna kind of do this with like what we're doing here, and possibly in court if we need to go there, or if they bring us there, right? If they ask us to come, we will happily oblige and do this in court, because that's the power of the law. Like, the judges have to abide by the law. Okay, and I will present to you the law so that you can present the law, if necessary, to the judge or the jury in tax court. I don't know if there's a jury in tax court, but there will be a judge. Okay, we're having fun here. That's Neo. Okay, an infinitely powerful being. And this is kind of us. This is a little patriotic picture. This is from, it's called Freedom of Speech. It's an artwork of an American gentleman kind of standing up for what he believes in. Okay. So governments and corporations. Now we're getting into the content here. Everything that people think is a government is actually a corporation. Okay, it's a business. It's a company. Like McDonald's, Burger King, Home Depot. It's a business to make money. Period. At some point along the way, we used to have de jure government. It's called de jure when you have a real government, like a republic of the people. But once it becomes a company, it's no longer de jure. So we have a bunch of companies and corporations that are acting like a government. Like, they claim to be a government, okay? But what there really is a business. And the thing is, all businesses engage in commerce using contracts. So we don't have like government, we have contractual engagements. Everything is a contract. Okay, so if you have no contracts with this business, there's no recourse. There's no legal obligations at all with the business. Okay, that's a fun fact. That includes all these governments. The thing is, if you're a business owner, you probably have your registered business with the government, with these companies. So you have a contract by being licensed or being registered with the state. Okay. Technically, if you were to do business without registering or licensing your state, obviously you wouldn't have to pay sales tax because you have no contract with these corporations that claim to be business. But moving on, state of Florida, anything you have a state of Georgia, state of New York, state of California, these are all the corporations. Okay, they're called state of the state. Um, on the contrary, if you want to refer to the de jure state, we would just say Florida. Okay, not state of Florida. That's the company. We just say Florida or Florida State. That's it. So here we're talking about state of Florida. Dun and Bradstreet, it's a directory for businesses. You can look up, literally, it's registered as a business in Dun and Bradstreet. Okay, look, you want to claim this company? Okay, so check it out. This is the state of Florida. Like scrolling down on the Dun and Bradstreet, you have here a key principal. Principal is like the chairman of the company, Ron DeSantis. Okay, he's the CEO of the company called State of Florida. It's not a government, it's a corporation. Here's the headquarters of the company. Here's their website, myflorida.com. Okay? Unlock full sales materials and reports. Like, what are the sales? What's the revenue of this company, right? Guess what? It comes from the tax. Okay? So look at the employees, right? All these people like working for the so-called government, they're just employees of a corporation. Here's another company. It's called the Florida Department of Revenue. This is the company that's attempting to extort your tax. Okay? Who's the key principal? You know, what's the website, the address, and they all have like a number too. It's called a Dunn's number that you can request from Dun and Bradstreet if you want to know. Okay, it's obviously a corporation. Moving on, the government of the United States, dude. The United States itself is a corporation. It's not a country. It's not a government. There's a company called Government of the United States. Okay. There's the link. Let's claim this company. That's my company. Question is, whose company is it? Whose company? Who owns the United States company corporation? Something to think about. Look, doing business as U.S. government. Like, this is the United States government. It is a corporation registered in Dun and Bradstreet. Okay. There's the address. Key principal, Donald John Trump. Okay, principal means like the head, the chairman of a company. Company description, dude. The U.S. government is headed by the president. So if it's a company, that means they do business to earn revenue with contracts. Okay, so who's the customers, right? And guess what? None of us are forced into contract. You can't be forced into a contract with any business. Okay, so keep that in mind. Moving on, this is the law. Okay, now we're getting into the fresh potatoes and, you know, the main dish here. I don't eat meat, so I would say meat and potatoes, but it's not applicable. We're here eating healthy, okay, like fresh living food. Title 28 U.S. Code 3002 definitions. Here we find the definition of United States in the fucking law, guys, in the United States Code. So you bring this into the courtroom, any judge, they can't say shit. They say, yeah, United States is federal corporation. But not just federal corporation, there's multiple definitions here, okay, for what United States is. That's one aspect of it. It's a federal corporation. You know what else the United States is? It's an agency, a department, a commission, a board, or an other entity of the United States. Or it's an instrumentality of the United States. So it's using like the same term in the definition. And that just includes more stuff. So like United States, it's not just the corporation, it's also any agency of it, any entity of it, any instrumentality of it. So that's interesting. We have a very, very broad definition of the United States. We'll see how this is applicable later. Let's get into some more definitions here. And I know this is a lot of information, and I'm just spewing it at you. So this is why you want to kind of rewatch this video, so you can absorb the content. Okay, this is Black's Law Dictionary. It's a collection of legal cases and stuff that defined words and created a dictionary of legally defined terms. Okay, there's been many editions. I recommend the 4th edition. It's very popular. and you can get it for free in this link. Like I said, the description. So let's take a look at some of those words that we saw from the definition of the United States, right? We saw agency. What is agency? It includes every relation in which one person acts for or represents another by the latter's authority. And there's the case, right? There's the citation, where one person acts for another, either in relationship of principal and agent, master or servant, or employer, or proprietor, and independent contractor. These are all very relevant terms, right? Very, very relevant terms for what's happening in our situation with a business that's registered and licensed by the United States, by the state, right? Even if it's a state, the state is under the United States. Okay, what is an agent? Is a person authorized by another. Authorization, look at these keywords. To act for him. One entrusted with another's business. One who represents and acts for another under the contract or relation of agency. Okay. Business representative, whose function is to bring about, a business representative whose function is to bring about, modify, affect, accept performance of, or terminate contractual obligations between principal and third persons. One who undertakes to transact some business. Okay, so we have all these like business terms for, that's exactly what's happening, right? We have businesses under the state, under the United States. Okay, let's keep reading. Entity, that was another word that we had in the United States definition, right? An entity of the United States is defined as the United States. So what is an entity? It's a real being, an existence. Okay, a real being, semicolon. Semicolon means like stop. There's a new term after the semicolon. It has equal power, right? A real being, semicolon, and existence. So that's like extremely broad, right? Any existence is an entity. Is your business in existence? Is your LLC in existence? Yeah, it is. Real being. This is like questionable, right? How real is a technically fictitious company? Like, it's just like a piece of paper, right? But you don't need to focus on the real part. It's in existence. Okay, and there's the citation, the quote. An existence is an entity. A business is an existence. Like you have an existing business. Anyway, interesting. Instrumentality. Let's see. This one, there wasn't an actual entry in the Black's Law Dictionary for instrumentality. So, but in the United States Code, there's a definition for foreign instrumentality. And guess what? If you can define foreign instrumentality, you can simply remove the foreign part and have a good idea on what an instrumentality is. Wouldn't you agree? That seems pretty reasonable. And mind you, all of this you can like present in a court, okay? Like in your case. It's all reasonable discussion. We're just having discussion, guys. We don't have to be scared or to go into survival mode. Like, no, let's have a discussion about the law, right? If necessary, in a tax court or in front of a jury. So, but most of that might not even be necessary. Okay, just saying. What is an instrumentality? A foreign instrumentality. Any agency, bureau, ministry, component. The fuck? Institution, association. What is an association, right? Like any group of people is an association. Or any legal, commercial, or business organization. Business organization is an instrumentality. Corporation, firm, or entity that is substantially owned, controlled, sponsored. Guess who's sponsoring your business by registering it, by licensing it? Commanded, managed, or dominated by a foreign government. So if it's not foreign, if we change the word foreign to domestic government, domestic instrumentality of the United States, we kind of have our definition here, don't we, guys? Very, very interesting. Okay, guys, here's some examples of United States then. According to, this is our assessment, right? This is our argument, Now we're gonna think for ourselves according to the law. United States means federal corporation and also an agency, an entity, an instrumentality of the United States. So guess what? U.S. citizens, U.S. nationals, licensed and authorized entities, These are agencies, man. You're approved, you're authorized to be an entity of the United States because you're a United States citizen. Or if you're me, I recommend not being a U.S. citizen. Right? I recommend being non-citizen national. You have more rights. Even non-citizen nationals, we're still United States nationals. Okay, entities, United States citizens, United States nationals. So SSN or EIN entities that are registered in any way. LLCs, corporations. It's like all of this is entities, instrumentalities, and agencies of the United States, guys. Instrumentality. We just defined that. Organization, business organizations. It was right there in the definition of the last slide. Licensed corporations, entities. Okay, guys, these are all entities of the United States. And if we have an entity or instrumentality of the United States, that means we have United States defined. Okay, so it is the United States. If you're an entity of the United States, you are the United States. If you're a United States national, you are the United States. This is the law. This is the definition. Okay, we're using logical thinking skills. Logic. We're reading the definition and we're applying it. I know it may not make sense, but it doesn't matter what makes sense or not. What matters is what's written in the law. Okay, when you go into a courtroom, what matters is what does the law say? Because the law is written that way for a reason. Congress made the law. We can't just make up the law and make it what we want it to be or what we believe it to be. No, it has to be what is it actually, factually. What does the law say? All these are entities of the United States. That means we are all the United States, okay? Our businesses are the United States. So let's get into the next interesting definition, okay? Let's take a quick breather. We're moving into the next phase. Okay, we're going to talk about currency. Okay, let's get into it. Title 31, Code of Federal Regulations, Section 1010.100. Okay, this is what the Code of Federal Regulations looks like. It's another body of law. I believe it's equally as important as the United States Code. And we have the definition here in subsection M. Currency, the coin and paper money of the United States or of any other country that is designated as legal tender and that circulates and is customarily used and accepted as a medium of exchange in the country of issuance. Okay, that's fine. Now you may point out some things like, oh, customarily used and accepted as medium of exchange. Like, hey, that can't be anything funny, right? That's fine. That's like one part of the definition. But guess what? We have another part of the definition right here, and it's a very blatant. Anytime you have currency includes a definition it has the word includes, it's like stating flat out. It doesn't matter what was said before or after. The definition includes this. Okay, that means it includes that. Period. There's no argument. Currency includes United States silver certificates, U.S. notes. U.S. notes. What is that? What is a note? We're going to get into that. And Federal Reserve notes, right? We're all familiar with Federal Reserve notes. It's the green paper, right? Like literally cash. Literally cash, guys. That's a Federal Reserve note. We're going to get into what is a note. So if you could pay sales tax with this, if this is currency, couldn't you pay sales tax with U.S. notes? How is a U.S. note different from Federal Reserve note? What is a U.S. note? Right? If this is a Federal Reserve note and this is currency, U.S. notes are some other kind of note, and it's also currency, which is also legal tender. We're going to get into that. To pay tax. Okay? So everybody's been paying tax with this, the Federal Reserve notes, and ignoring the rest of the currency definition. Why? Because we weren't taught. We weren't educated. We just going to go wrong with the program. U.S. notes. U.S. means United States, guys. Moving on. Notes. Here we go. This is the Holy Grail right here. Uniform Commercial Code. Okay, not literally Holy Grail. Okay, this is like the Holy Grail of this matrix system, so to speak. Notes. What is a note? Okay, this is like the big news, guys. We want to put our listening caps on here, and we really want to dive with focus. Uniform Commercial Code. It's a body of law that governs the operation of instruments. We have this word called instrument. Okay, negotiable instrument. All right, negotiable instrument. What the hell is that? Well, I'm not going to get too much into detail, but this is a negotiable instrument. Okay, it's basically like a piece of paper, a contract that is either promising to pay or ordering somebody to pay. That's what an instrument is. Okay, we're not talking about money. We're not talking about gold and silver. We're talking about instruments in this system of economy that we have here. Okay, so pay attention here. UCC 3-104 negotiable instrument subsection E. We have the definition of note. An instrument is a note if it is a promise. Okay, a note is a promise. Okay, the rest of the definition is for an order. A draft is an order. Okay, that's also known as a bill. Anytime you get a bill in the mail, that's an order to pay. It's a negotiable instrument. If any instrument falls within the definition of both note and draft, a person entitled to enforce the instrument, like who's owed, the money for the instrument, may treat it as either. That part's irrelevant. Okay, so a note is a promise. What's a promise, guys? We're breaking this down. In UCC 3-103, here's the definition of promise. It means a written undertaking to pay money signed by the person undertaking to pay. So it's literally just a written papers promising a payment signed by the person promising to pay. Okay, undertaking to pay. It's like willing to pay, promising. Okay, an acknowledgement of an obligation. Blah blah blah. That part's irrelevant. Don't worry about that. Okay, instrument. What is the definition of instrument? It means negotiable instrument. If you're really interested, you can read UCC 3-104 and find out exactly how they define this negotiable instrument. But don't worry. Now we know what a note is. A note is a promise to pay. It's a written undertaking signed. Moving on. We're breaking the shit down. Okay. Legal tender. Woo! Let's go, baby. Legal tender. This is the key right here, guys. Title 31, out of the law, the United States Code, guys, that Congress wrote. Section 5103, defining legal tender. Legal tender is what everybody wants to pay their debts, right? Right here on the Federal Reserve note, it says, this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. You know what else is legal tender for all debts and taxes? United States currency. And it says it right here in the fucking law. It says United States coins and currency. Parentheses, including, yes, Federal Reserve notes and circulating notes of Federal Reserve banks and national banks. Okay, we don't have to get into the weeds here on arguing what is a national bank. Okay, we have the definition right here. United States currency is legal tender all debts, not some debts, all debts, all public charges, all taxes. Taxes, baby. So this law is telling me that I can use United States currency to pay as legal tender for all taxes, guys. That includes sales tax. Okay, and we have currency. What is currency? It's a note. It's a promise. What kind of note? A U.S. note. The U.S. note is currency. Okay, and we know what is United States. We are the United States. Are we putting two and two together here? If you have a business in the United States, if you're a United States national, if you're a United States citizen, you are the United States. Remember, the United States includes any agency, any entity, any instrumentality of the United States. So you are the United States. And when you write a note, a promise to pay, you are creating currency. You are creating United States currency, guys, by the law. Not my opinion. Not my opinion, guys. This is the fucking law. It is the law, guys, of the United States. The United States Code. See, this kind of energy, this kind of excitement is what you should have when, like, if I had a business and I stopped paying sales tax and I started sending in notes, right, to pay the sales tax, I would be praying that I get audited, so I could sit there with my big ass, in the courtroom, and school the judge respectfully, right? Not with a cocky attitude, because you have to be respectful in personal situation in a very, very respectful way, in an inquisitive way. Like, oh, let's look at these definitions, Your Honor. Let's look at here at what currency is defined as. Okay, you don't even have to go to court. You just type it up in your answer. Type it up in the document. Okay. Moving on. Here's an example, guys, of a U.S. note that I just stroked up myself, making some legal tender. Okay, Yuri Couto, who is a U.S. national, by the way. I have a passport to prove it. I have a passport. Unconditionally, use that word, guys. Just write it. This is how you create your notes. Exactly like this. Okay. Now, we're not going to use these notes to pay for stuff at the grocery store. Okay, it's just going to create problems. You're going to use these notes to pay the tax man. You're going to pay your Department of Revenue. You're going to pay your income tax if you want. You don't even have to pay income tax. All that's voluntary. But if you have a businessman, you got your Department of Revenue. This is how you're going to pay your sales tax. Okay. Now, you can either ask your customers to sign it for you, or you can, I wouldn't do that if I was the business. I would just write up the note myself. Say, hey, we're going to cover the sales tax. Don't you worry about it, guys. All of our products are now tax free. Okay. Enjoy the lower prices so you can get the goods that your family needs at a more affordable rate so you can live your life and enjoy the fruits of your labor, right? And we're going to handle the tax, guys. So we're going to draft up a US note. You're literally creating currency to pay the tax, which is a bullshit charge and to begin with, right? You're telling me that the government just deserves your hard-earned energy. Let's say that your Federal Reserve notes are hard-earned energy that you like worked for, because you can't print these, right? The Federal Reserve has to print these. What you can print is United States notes, which is equivalent as currency. This is the United States. So we've all been working our ass off to earn these from an agency that we can't print these ourselves, right? In order to pay a tax that's extorted out of us, that's just demanded. Oh, we're just gonna charge 7.5%, yeah, on everything. Yeah, kiss my ass. So here's how we're paying sales tax, guys. We're paying with U.S. notes using an agency or entity of the United States. Proven. If you have a passport, you can prove that you're an entity of the United States. If your business is registered, you have proof, okay, of your agency or instrumentality, okay, is safer. You know, agency, that could be up for argument. But moving on, Yuri Couto, unconditionally, okay, this is a key word, unconditionally promise to pay bearer. Write it just like this, guys. I have a template in my Dropbox, link in the description. Promise to pay the bearer. You could also promise to pay the Department of Revenue directly if you wanted to. It's easier to just write bearer, and it's literally like cash. If you hand us somebody, you just pay them $1,000. On demand, the amount $1,000, and you can write any amount here, literally any amount. I just did 1,000 as an example. Okay, so you can be discreet about it. You don't have to put $1 trillion and like try to sue them for the overpayment. You could try to, but I recommend just being discreet. You know, we don't have to like explode the system. We can just stop being fucked by it. Okay, United States dollars, and make the date there. The date is actually technically optional, but I go ahead and recommend just putting the date on there. And this is a key part, guys. This is the key. Okay, we write without recourse on everything. Okay, without recourse. When we're signing shit, this is our signature, by the way. Okay, this right here, this is the signature part. In our signature, it's also technically an endorsement. We can, there's like some details. Maybe it's not literally an endorsement. An endorsement is actually when you're transferring an instrument, technically, but don't worry about those details. Okay, focus here. Don't get overwhelmed, guys. This is the signature we write without recourse on our signature at the top. Without recourse, it gives you no legal liability. It means, hey, fuck off. Here's my payment, fuck off. You can't sue me. You have no recourse. Recourse is like legal action, legal right to win some kind of judgment against you, okay? Anytime we have an instrument, a financial monetary instrument, and we write without recourse, you can look this up, guys. If you look at banks operations, how they're transferring promissory notes, mortgages from one bank to another, they always do endorsements just like this without recourse, all of them. And you can look at a website. I have a website I'll show you later. It gives you no legal liability, okay? You're basically selling this note, transferring it, without recourse. And it means that when the receiver takes payment of this note, they don't have any recourse against you to be like, hey, where's the $1,000? It's like, no, that is the $1,000. Okay. They can't come after you basically, like saying, hey, this doesn't count. Like, no, it's as soon as it's delivered, like that's discharge. We're gonna get into that. Okay. We're almost done, guys. Hang in there. We're getting there. We're getting there. For Yuri Couto, this is just how you do a special endorsement. Okay, I'm not going to go into the full detail on why, but basically Yuri Couto, all caps, that's the business name. It's like the corporate entity. And I'm signing as an agent. Okay, I always recommend this. Always recommend this. Put for your business name. You are signing as the agent. Okay, so you can't go to jail. You can't, none of that stuff. Like, because you're just the agent acting on behalf of your fictional paper entity, the business. Okay. See, and you're paying your tax bill, guys. Remember, this isn't a loophole. This isn't a game. I showed you the definitions. We are the United States. Okay. We are making notes, and the notes are currency. Period. Period. You stand in any court. The truth will always win. Any court. Anybody. And simply explain, show the law. Okay, well, here's the fucking law. This is how you sign. Digitally, if you're the /s/ this is a legal signature, guys. Very commonplace across all kinds of court cases. You can sign any document with the /s/ and then type your name. That's a legal digital signature, okay? Or you can print it out and hand sign it if you want. Just put agent here, right? Identify yourself with lowercase letters, okay? If you're a man, you can write man, man, agent. It's just good to identify yourself as an agent for the principal, okay? Which is the business, the fictional business entity. Without recourse, guys. That's key. Just do it exactly like this, guys. Exactly like this. All you got to change is the number, the amount, and the date. Moving on. Send that to the Department of Revenue with your, sales tax report, however you do for your business. Okay. Audits and tax query. Here we go. If they audit you, okay, like I'm telling you right now, I'm betting. I would bet large, like I'm most confident. Telling you, most confident that if you send these promissory notes like this to your Department of Revenue, you know what they're gonna do? They're not even gonna touch you, guys. They're not gonna talk to you. You're not gonna hear anything from these guys. Period. I'm telling you, I'm serious. I'm serious. Okay, I've paid my parking ticket like this using an endorsement. Okay, here's a picture of my parking ticket. Boom. This is on the back side of it. I wrote without recourse. Pay to Yuri Couto. Buy. The parking ticket is in order to pay. It's a negotiable instrument. It's currency. Okay. So I did an endorsement and I mailed it back to them. This is a $255 parking ticket. Check it out. Okay. Can you dig it? City of St. Petersburg. Hold my dick. Right? So endorsement of tax bill. This is another option if you get audited and they send you a tax bill, right? Let's say that they got all your US notes and they're still going to audit you and send you an order for payment. You say, great, send me the bill. Send me the bill, Department of Revenue. They send you the bill. This is what you do with the bill. Either ideally on the back, but if there's no space on the back, you could do it on the front. Fuck it. Right? Without recourse, pay to Yuri Couto. Or if they bitch about that, I recommend saying pay to yourself because it's like your account technically, right? If they're charging you on your account, it's your account. If necessary, if they bitched about that, you could say, oh, send me another bill and write pay to Department of Revenue. Okay, whatever. Sign it by Yuri Couto agent. Okay, and you can write your name in print here. Send it back to them, guys. You literally, you became the holder. It's called the holder in due course. You're the holder of this instrument. As soon as they delivered it to you, the bill, the tax bill, you endorse it, and you're going to release it back to them as a payment. Okay, guys, if you want to understand better, you can read UCC 3. I haven't heard back from City of St. Petersburg, but this was like weeks ago. Zip. No court case, nothing in the mail. I mean, there could come something in the mail later on. Great, I would just show up to court and explain the UCC 3 to the judge's face. They're going to kick me out of the courtroom. They're going to be like, case dismissed. Moving on. This is the big one right here, guys. This is why you owe no tax after you send your US note. It's called Uniform Commercial Code, Section 3-603, subsection B, tender of payment. This is the big hammer, guys, that you present in the courtroom. You make a scan of your U.S. notes, okay? Take a scanned copy of it. I would recommend sending it certified mail. Okay, it costs like $5, guys. You get a little green tracking slip with a tracking number, and you can mail this stuff from the postal service. Okay, with the tracking number and scan it. Just scan all your receipts and stuff. Keep track of your business, right? Documentation. So you can present it in a tax court if necessary. If necessary. And this is what you present. This is why you owe no more tax. If tender of payment on an obligation to pay an instrument is made. So if the tender of payment, tender means to like provide, deliver the payment, okay? Meaning if you mail your tax payments to the Department of Revenue and it's delivered, guess what? You just tendered payment and you have evidence by your tracking number, okay? If the tender is made to a person entitled to enforce the instrument and the tender is refused. So let's say the Department of Revenue got your notes and they said, "What the fuck? You can't pay your tax like this. You still owe us tax. You need to pay us with Federal Reserve notes." One, that's unlawful. Two, that won't hold up in court because they just refused your tender, right? But what do? Oh no, guess what? It doesn't matter for us. It doesn't matter if they refuse the tender. They could send it back to us. They could tell us to fuck off. They could send tanks and 100 policemen at the door of your business. It doesn't matter. Because if they're refusing your tender, there's discharge. Plain and simple, okay? There's discharge. Discharge means your tax bill, it goes to zero. Or it goes to whatever amount you paid, okay? And you did pay. You paid them with currency, remember? Okay? To the extent of the amount of the tender. There we go. So if you send them a U.S. note for the full amount, guess what? And they refuse it. If they don't refuse it, they accepted it. Great. If they do refuse it and they bitch about it, it doesn't matter what they're saying. It doesn't matter what they're saying. It doesn't matter what they're threatening you. What matters is, okay, are we going forward with legal proceedings or not? Because if we are, then I'm awaiting the complaint for the tax court. If not, then stop harassing me, because there's discharge of your obligation. Okay. Of an endorser or an accommodation party having right of recourse with respect to the obligation to which the tender relates. Don't get overwhelmed by the words. Just understand, if the tender's refused, if you make tender, you have discharged your payment. Okay. All you need is a little proof. Do a certified mail. You're done. Okay. Answer to court summons. If you get summoned to court, if the Department of Revenue wants to sue you for a tax court, just respond, guys. Do an answer. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need a lawyer. You're not going to spend the tens of thousands of dollars on a lawyer. Do it yourself. It's so fucking easy, guys. It can be as simple as you want. You don't have to be a lawyer. In fact, if you represent yourself or represent your business, there's a lot of leniency given by judges for self-represented. It's called pro se litigant. Okay, and they're not gonna fucking want you there, dude. If you show them it's highly unlikely that you'll even get summoned to court. But if you do, don't be scared. I'd be excited. Be excited, guys. Let's go. Let's swing the hammer, and win. I have a Dropbox here, a link in the description with a template for an answer, which is a legal document. It's called an answer. And you can kind of use it as a template to modify and adjust for whatever you may need. Okay, it's a little bit messy. It's from my court case, and all the stuff there will be relevant to my case, obviously. So you'll want to delete most of it. Just keep the parts that are relevant. You don't need to worry about a counterclaim unless you want to get fancy. Just do the answer, okay? Just write up your answer. Say, no, I paid this tax bill. This is why, and you give them all these definitions. Keep it simple, guys. The law's on your side. Period. We don't need to be paying sales tax with Federal Reserve notes. We don't need to be charging customers additional sales tax on anything. Business owners, pay the Department of Revenue with your U.S. notes. Period. And show up like a king if they call you into a court. And school everybody there. It's so easy, literally so easy. If you feel doubt and fear, which is normal, right? Because we have this deep emotional programming to be scared of these government, this corporation. It's literally a company. It's McDonald's, guys. McDonald's is saying, hey, you didn't give us the money we wanted. It's yeah, according to your policies, let's look at your policies. which is the all the U.S. code. Those are the policies of the company. Remember, I did according to these definitions here. They're fucked, guys. They're fucked. And you just paid your sales tax for free. So I hope you got the value out of this presentation. Go back to the definitions and reread. Use logic and assess the law yourself, guys. Some credit to where it's due. Brandon Joe Williams, I learned a lot from this guy. Learned a whole lot from this guy, and he inspired me. I spent a lot of time reading my own stuff as well, like straight out of UCC3. I literally read the body of law called Uniform Commercial Code Title 3 or Section 3, Article 3, whatever. His website called onestupidfuck.com. It's a bit of a humorous like theme, but don't be confused. This guy is hardcore on his education and teaching law. And everything here, you just assess the law for yourself, guys. You don't have to make anybody a guru. I ain't no guru. This guy ain't no guru. We're just sharing information that will help a lot. And he's got a YouTube here. So yeah, his content is great. Check it out. That's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, like, feel free to email me. Yeah, and have courage, have a spine, okay? And let's make the world a more profitable place. Let's make the world a more affordable place, okay? Let's stop being slaves, believing that we're slaves because we're not, and let's start using the system the way it was designed to, okay? And win. All right. Thank you, guys. Take care.